Hi, girls. Okay, so just going to go over the goals here. Going to kind of try to put some focus on some of the buildup of it, but mostly positioning where we were, awareness, surrounding awareness, extremely important. Okay. All right. So this is the first goal. So again, 32 minutes in the game, right? So not too bad. And we hadn't really given Roma any decent chances at that point. I don't think, can't remember if Chloe had to make any saves by that point or not. But I certainly don't remember anything being too threatening. Okay, and of course you guys had your chances as well. But yeah, so anyways, let's watch this one here. So I'm just going to make sure we're going back a little bit. Okay, so ball gets played out here. So Sam does good to get there. I'm just going to stop it there because what I need here, right? And again, Sam was doing a good job. Just be patient, drop off a couple of yards. Okay. Obviously, this player here, she was doing this a lot. She wants to take people on 1v1. She's a player that has those skills. All right. You just need to hold her there. She'll eventually get frustrated and come to you. Don't ever go to them. When you go to them, that's when they beat you. Okay. See if I can get a close up here. So let's do a close up, see if we can see it a little bit better. No, so we need to go back here. Again, so there's Sam. She gets there. Don't go in. So there you go. So Sam and any other defender in those situations, don't lunge in with your foot. Don't try to win the ball there. Okay. You need to let that player come to you. When that player comes to you, then that is the time to get the foot in there. Basically, when you stick your foot forward, players that are as skilled as that particular girl is will just take a touch in the opposite direction. Okay. So you're basically saying, I'm going this way. Every once in a while, you may get lucky and put your foot in there and win the ball. But when it's a player that's as skilled as they are, when you see a player come down like that, come down the wing and patiently kind of wait there and they're moving on their feet, that's the sign that this player's very good with 1v1s. Okay. So that is your sign right there to not jump in. Your sign is to be patient and wait and just sit there. You keep your feet moving, keep that 3 yard distance. And then when the player takes a touch with the ball towards you, now you can try to win the ball. Eventually they're going to get frustrated. They want you to go to them. Don't go to them. No matter what you think, oh, I'm going to lunge in and get the ball. I'm telling you, you won't. And that's what ends up happening is the player ends up getting past you and sends the ball through. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to watch. I'm going to go back a little bit. All right. So this is the player right here that scores the goal. Again, so we need to have awareness here. Where is she? Right. So we got caught ball watching there. Okay. So we got caught ball watching. That's the problem. So Izzy, you can tell me on Saturday whether or not you knew this player was here, but just judging by this video and then the late reaction, I don't think you did. Okay. So extremely important here. So let's look at the other part of the goal. Extremely important that you look over your shoulders, you especially wingers, you need to have an eye. Where are these players? Okay, and stay with them. Right. If we're busy ball watching, we're gonna miss it. Okay. And that's the other thing is here in this situation. These two players, basically, I'm looking at those two players, they just ran right in the box. If the ball had again gone to one of them, they probably would have scored. Nobody was there marking them. Okay. That's what you have to do. So even in this situation, so let's just watch again. So we've run back. So Nicole, I don't need you to be here, right? I need these players covered, right? I need those players covered. Okay. So don't just go run to the far post. It's not a corner kick. I need these players marked because if the ball goes in, you standing at either of the posts, and not just Nicole, but any defender isn't going to do anything. Okay. So that's that goal there. All right. Now let's move on to the next goal. So now we're going into the second half, and this is the 61st minute. So sorry, just going to go back a bit. Turn the camera towards the play. Yeah, it's a little bright out here, so let's just watch it go through. So kind of hard to see what happened here. So this player, okay, so here's the problem. I know it's hard to see, but you'll see this player right here, right? She's kept onside. Okay, she's kept onside. Defensive shape wise, this should be diagonal, right? Right now, what we've got is appears to be, just see here. So there you go. So Scarlett's got back into position. All right. But basically, right now, we are kind of off a little bit too much here. Let me just back this up so I can see it again. Okay, so, and I'll stop it there. So here's my problem there is I don't want my defender to have to go and deal with that player. This is where the mid should be. Okay. So the outside mid should have been covering that player, right? You don't cover the players up here. You cover the players that are closer to this area because I needed Sam to cover that player. And unfortunately, of course, that's the girl that ends up getting the ball. And then let's just watch what happens here. So I'm going to just, this is where I have problems is I'm going to look at players that were not back to help. Okay. So ball's going to get played across. So we need to get in this box. Okay. We need to get in this box. And I see, so that's after the goal. Right. So I want my mids running in here. Why are we walking? Why are we walking? Right? Outside mid. Why are we walking? Okay. We need to get back in the box. We need to be there. Right? We're not sitting here watching the defense deal with it. Okay. And that's what's very frustrating to me there. Okay. Is everybody will look at the defense and say, oh, the defense, they made a mistake. Well, I'm going, where was the help? The help could have been there, but everybody was standing watching. Okay. Unacceptable. All right. That's basically that goal there. I will go back here real quick. So, first thing, we ducked out of the way, right? So we ducked away from the ball. Okay, so that happens. And then why are we out here? What are we? So other center back needs to come and be with this player and get in there and be physical. We can't just be sitting there watching the play. All right. You need to be there. You need to run your ass off in the box. This is where it's panic stations. Get there, get in there, win the ball instead of allowing them to basically have two shots. Chloe had to make a big save there, and then they end up scoring because we weren't there because we were all watching the play. Okay, so that goal really sucked. And then 20 minutes later is when disaster struck. Okay, so, and this is where, like I did say, so Chloe, if you remember, I said one goal that I thought you should have had, and I think I would say it was this one here, only because it's low, right? You had the angle, you were there. But I think you just needed to be on your toes a bit more. Okay. So you're kind of flat footed right now, and it didn't allow you to be able to get down to ground as quickly as you needed to. Okay. Let's watch the build up here, though. Yeah. So here's the problem I was seeing right there. Look at the size of this gap. Okay. So look at the size of this gap here that ends up forming. So what's going on here, right? What's going on here? Nobody shifted over and then it was too late, right? It was too late by that point. Okay. This is where I need close the gap, close the gap, close the gap, right? Close the gap before that. Let's go back again. Sorry. Close the gap. Everybody shifting, right? Players here, forwards, center mids, be part of this play. Okay. Be part of that play. Help out. All right. So that was a case of not shifting over quickly enough, allowed them to walk in and have an easy goal. And then 4 minutes later, here, I'm gonna get out of this mode here. I always mess this up. Go back into the full screen. So this is a corner. Yeah. I see a lot of just standing. Okay. So let's do a close up of that. Yeah. Nobody willing to deal with this ball. As soon as that ball gets in the box, okay, and they are able to get contact in it, we're in trouble. So this girl basically barged through two of our players, okay? Two of our players who were there barged right through them, right? Barged right through physically and then got on the ball and scored. Okay. That's not good, right? Be aware of your surroundings, be able to stand your ground. Don't be just standing there straight legged, right? You should be bent knees, ready for physical contact and going to the ball, not waiting for the ball to come to you. Okay. One more time. We didn't even move towards the ball, right? We're not moving towards the ball. We're not trying to win it first. We're waiting for it to come in, waiting for it to land, and ultimately allowing an easy goal. Okay. And then a minute later, this is what's even worse, is like a 1 minute afterwards, we completely just gave up. So mistake there. Okay. Just gonna go back. So center backs, so Scarlett in this situation, you got caught going forward, right? You got caught going forward. I need you guys to stay back, okay? If unless you're all pushing up together, right? Basically, that girl was hanging out right there with you guys, right? So we all need to move up. Right now, she's on side, right? And of course, now we're getting caught there. Right away, we need so that's the other issue. What we allowed was the ball goes over, and then we need to get to this ball. Instead, we're already jockeying back and allowing this girl to get control. Okay. So it's an easy goal, right? You need to go to this player, right? I always say when the ball is bouncing and it's not under control, you need to go to the ball. That's when you try to win the ball. The fact that we are allowing a player to let the ball settle and control it and then go in and have a shot. Okay. Another one that really just boggles my mind. Okay. When the ball is bouncing, go to it. That is when you try to win that ball. Okay. If you allow it to settle and you allow a player who is strong and skilled to get that ball, now you're in trouble. Okay. And that's the likely scenario every time. Okay. All right. So I'll pause it there. What I would like is for you to watch as much of the game as possible. Watch yourself. I want you to be able to honestly answer yourself and say, did I put in enough effort? Okay. What was I doing? Think of moments maybe that you felt that you struggled or you weren't sure what was going on or what happened. If you were involved in one of the goals against us, where were you? What was your positioning? Okay. I want you to look at that. Okay. It's really important that you do that for your own sake, for your own mind, so you understand it. Okay. All right. Other than that, girls, have a good night whenever you're watching this, and let's get ready for the Ontario Cup, and let's fix these problems. And again, it simply comes down to effort. Okay, you can compete with Roma. It should never have been a 5-0 game. Okay, that's a game that if we had lost 1-0 or maybe even 2-0 because they're that good and they just found another way to get a goal on us, I could have handled that. But the fact was that we allowed those 3 goals late and they were all bad goals. They were all very bad goals. Okay. Totally preventable. Okay. Goals that we don't usually concede, and we did. Okay. So again, we've got to make sure that those mistakes do not happen. Okay, on Saturday, and then next week when we play Milton. Right. We've got 2 games. Let's fix that. Okay. All right, girls, have a good night. We'll see you all Saturday morning.